evening. Welcome to the George Eastman Museum and the Dryden Theater. My name is Nanette Nocon, and I serve as the chair of the museum's Board of Trustees. Thank you all for being with us tonight. It's exciting to see a full house, and while parking is tough, it's great to see everybody. We've greatly valued our partnership in this moment and are thrilled to help celebrate the final 2 chapbooks in Volume 3. This represents the 6th book launch we've had the privilege to host here at the museum. We look forward to partnering again in the future and doing our small part to raise awareness of this critical and inspiring tribute to our community's leaders. The museum remains committed to supporting programming that welcomes, broadens our relationships with, and increases representation within the museum of historically underserved peoples in our community, especially the city of Rochester. In 2023, we opened the new community gallery, the Gallery Obscura, to feature exhibitions organized in collaboration with community organizations, school and youth programs that are focused on Greater Rochester. I hope you had the chance to see the current exhibition called Seeing and Being Seen, which will be on display through October 26th. The museum partnered with Image Out to honor the strength and resiliency of the LGBTQ+ people, showcasing their unique individualism and enduring bravery. The exhibition is composed of submissions from regional artists and juried by a diverse panel of local LGBTQ+ arts professionals. Please do see it before it closes next month and look for future exhibitions in that space that celebrate the important stories and creativity of local artists. And now I am pleased to acknowledge the great work of Jean Strasabosco and Amanda Chestnut of In This Moment. I invite Amanda to begin our program. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you so much, Nanette. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Amanda Chestnut, and I am the co-founder, curator, and publisher of In This Moment, Revolution, Reckoning, and Reparations. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the project, 5 years ago, In This Moment was founded in the wake of George Floyd's murder. When we learned of the murder of Daniel Prude, In This Moment became a way for many of us to choose to stand up, be heard, and fight back against ignorance and racism. When we started distributing the books, we partnered with the Monroe County and Rochester Public Libraries to distribute the books as people picked up their requested library loan to take home during the pandemic. As of this evening, we have published 30 books highlighting living Black luminaries in Rochester. We have distributed over 35,000 books for free. These books are available for free in the Monroe County and Rochester Public Library system, online through Libby, and on the archive page of our website, and in audio format through the Lunchador Podcast Network. We've launched books with Visual Studies Workshop and outgrew their 40-person space. We launched a book at Asbury First United Methodist Church. We outgrew their 100-seat space. We launched books at the Little Theater and outgrew their 300-seat space. Thank you so much to the George Eastman Museum offering us this wonderful partnership with the Dryden Theater and a home for our book launches and panel discussions. This is how we are able to bring you, it is with their grace and generosity that we are able to bring you these events for free. We are beyond grateful to the George Eastman Museum, Bruce Barnes, Eliza Bennington, Sherry Smith, and Alan Buell for rolling out the red carpet for us for tonight fifth and final celebration of Volume 3 of In This Moment. In 2026, In This Moment, we'll be working on publishing a much-needed, hardbound library edition of each of the 3 volumes, as well as determining how we will move forward with the chapbooks in 2027. I want to thank you all again so much for your love and your support.
We are going to just, if you will give us a moment, we're going to try to switch this mic out. All right, say hello to your neighbor.
I don't think I'll stay in the hole. Can you hold it?
Test 1, test, test.
I just fit in this one because it's too wide. Are you going to hold this one?
Test 1, can you hear me better? All right. I will have to simply try to hold the mic. But, of course, we're used to pivoting and punting, right? All right. Let's get this show on the road. Good evening and welcome. Good evening and welcome. Yes, I wanted to hear you as well. So here we are, this special Monday night, In This Moment class, right here at the historic George Eastman House. Who said they didn't know that this was going to be a class tonight? Okay. So my answer to you is use every moment to learn, to grow, and to give back what you have learned. Now, please, check your syllabus. It should read, we are in ITM section 30, and your professor for tonight is ITM luminary number 30, Dr. Arlette Miller Smith. So in class tonight, my friends, let us use a quote from poet-activist June Jordan to illustrate tonight's theme. Jordan's quote is, "We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones we've been waiting for." Our complete theme is, we are the ones we have been waiting for, using selected gospel songs to illustrate awakening the 3 R's: resistance, resilience, and responsibility. Selah. Now, very quickly, before we move on and are joined by this special guest here tonight with us, AKOMA, Rochester's African American Women's Gospel Choir, let me first briefly review a couple of details. Take notes, please. Your assignment during AKOMA's presentation is to note how long their song choices are in terms of not actually the length. Let me back that up. How their song choices reflect that theme. And more importantly, how they impact all of us here in this room. How it reflects who we are as a community, as Americans, and even as global citizens. But first, let's take a quick look at the word Selah. which is Hebrew word, some of you know this, found in the biblical book of Psalms. Yes, possible meanings are to silence, to pause, to lift or to rise up. Now, I want you to remember as they are singing, to lift or to what? Rise up. To lift or to Selah also can be for the musicians in the house. A musical notation that means a pause in the voices singing. A pause in the voices singing. So although Selah can be either of these, the biblical or the musical, in your notes tonight, please note, AKOMA will use it as an ever-present resistance weapon. An ever-present resistance weapon that may be awakening in some difficult and unprecedented times. No one in this room is experiencing difficult or unprecedented times. But by the way, for tonight, also understand this clearly. The word weapon does not mean the use of knives or guns to harm or to kill others. Rather, it means being armored with the battle-ready weapons of peace, love, justice, healing, faith, and freedom. Weapons of faith and freedom and love and justice. Of all, by all, for all the people. Amen. If you're a Christian. Also, think about the 3 R's this way. What are those 3 R's again? Resistance, resilience, and responsibility. Somebody's paying attention. All right. All right. So here is an extended example for you about resistance, about resilience, and also about our responsibility. So if you take Maria Stewart's soapbox, Shirley Chisholm's chair at the table, Kamala's lotus symbol of growing through muddy waters to ascend on top of the water as an exquisite flower, or Michelle's motto, we go high, or Stacey Abrams' stuffed ballot box, or Isabel Bromfrey's sojourn to the truth, or local professor Tokeya Graham's advice that if or when, watch out now, we falter or we fall, we have to just get ourselves up. She says, fall back so that you can look up. Fall back so you can look up. All right, who's with me now? Okay, come on now, come on. So when we armor ourselves and we fight with those weapons of those beautiful women, we will destroy hate and fear and arrogance and hate and fear and arrogance, retribution, betrayal, and much, much more. And if you don't know those women whose names I just called, you need to rush yourself to some reputable source and just bask in the brilliance and beauty of Black women's genius. Can I get an amen? Selah. So now, let's get ready. Let's get ready. Let's get ready to listen to AKOMA's medley of songs that represents the 3 R's. Oh my God, you sound like you're dead and somebody was trying to rise you from the dead. And so let's get ready with our 3 R's. All right now. So I just need you to bear with me for a moment here because I need to change my identity. You know, like Superwoman. Okay? I want to change my identity right now to the founder, artistic director, and immediate past day-to-day manager of this 30-year pearl known as AKOMA. Let's call on these beauties, dressed in black with silver fox fabric all down their fronts and their backs. You know that I love it. Calling all these AKOMA women, calling all my sisters, because AKOMA, the name means. All right, now you are sounding like them. Now whose name means consistency and faithfulness. Give it up for AKOMA. We need you, AKOMA. We need you to steal away. We need you to call on some old-time religion. Steal away home. I ain't got long to stay. Don't want to stay here. Steal away, my friends, to our secret, sacred place. We're about to have that prayer meeting face to face. Because sometimes, sometimes, Dr. Gale says, I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Alone way from home. Sometimes I feel sometimes
Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes motherless, a motherless child. Dr. Gaya shakes. Dr. Gaya shakes. Give it up for Dr. Gaya. Dr. Gaya asked the peacemaker to hear the sister's prayer. Hear our trouble, turning it into good trouble, like Ella Baker, the mother of the modern civil rights movement, did. Long before her mentee, John Lewis, then president of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, aka SNCC, became a civil rights icon. It was Ella Baker, who was so fierce that Sweet Honey in the Rock turned Baker's civil rights wisdom into "We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes." Come on, AKOMA, come on now. Woo! We who believe freedom cannot rest. Oh yeah, come on. We who believe in, you got it, rest. Not needing to clutch for power, not needing the light just to shine on me. I need to be just one in the number as we fight against tyranny. To me, young people come first. They have the courage where we failed. And if I could just shine a light on as they carry us through the gale. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Come on, say it with us.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in cannot rest until it comes. Salah. We got Maggie right here with us.
Tell me how.
How do you prepare for battle?
How do we prepare for battle? We have to put on our armor. We have to put on our breastplate of righteousness. Because we got to get ready for this battle. Everything has to work out all right. Get your house in order. Get your house in order. Oh, Jesus is coming. So get your house in order. You know there are earthquakes, hurricanes, famine, and disease. Now can't you see my Lord talking to you? You better take heed. So get your house in order. Get your house in order. Oh, Jesus is coming. So get your house in order. You know there are so many homeless people in this world today. But my God got plenty of houses and land if you give him your life today. So get your house in order. Get your house in order. Get your house in order. Oh, he's coming. He's coming back. He's coming back again. He's coming back. Again.
We got to run on right now to the high calling. Maggie Moore. Give it up for Maggie Moore. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. I rise into a daybreak wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the enslaved. I rise, I rise. I rise, Miss Pat. Shattered, but I'm not broken. Wounded, but time will heal. Heavy the load, the cross I bear, lonely the road I trod, I dare, shaken, but here I stand, weary, still I press on. Dark are the nights, the tears I've cried. Dark are the days, no sun in the sky. Yes, yet still I rise, never to give up, and never to give in against all odds. Yet still I rise, yeah, high above the clouds. At times I feel low. No matter what comes, no matter what goes, yeah. Nothing will stop me, nothing will block me, nothing will shake me, 'cause I got a strong foundation. I'll rise, I'll rise. I'll spread my wings like an eagle and I'll soar, yeah. I know how to push. I know how to press. I know how to do battle. I know how to do warfare. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 At times, I don't know about you, but at times I feel alone. Yeah, I still rise. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know which way to go. Ooh, but I still rise. Yeah. At times I feel alone. Yet still come on. Maggie, go. Go, Maggie. Go, 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 go. Patricia, Starks, Kathy. Gotta press quickly on to the high rising. Give it up for our music director, Cherie Hill, as we come on. Our time is gone. Remember, Selah. So we're at that Selah moment with our Pat Starks, Kathy, who brought us into not only are we going to rise, I still what rise, we are now going to go with Maggie because we got to what? Rise up and walk. Come on. We're going to walk real quickly, super quickly, infinitesimally quickly. All right.
Trouble, heartache, and pain will soon. There'll be no more. It'll all be over. Tear-stained eyes and mournful cries will soon. We'll shout by. Troubles, heartaches, and pain will soon. There'll be no more. It'll all be over. Tear-stained eyes and mournful cries will soon. We'll shout by. Oh, trouble, heartaches, and pain will soon be no more. It'll all be over. Tear-stained eyes and mournful cries will soon. We'll shout ah, and we will rise. We're gonna meet King Emmanuel, and we will rise. Oh Lord, oh we are gonna shout our trouble over, Lord, Lord, and we will rise. Oh Lord, All right. Yes, we'll rise. Oh, Lord. Yes, we're gonna rise. No more pain. No more hurt. And then we'll shout. Bye and bye. Yes, we will rise. Oh, rise. And then we'll shout. No more heartaches. No more sorrow. No more praying. No more begging. No more homelessness. No more hatred. Shout, shout, shout. Bye and
Resilience. Resilience. What's the first? Resistance. Resilience. And we are all soldiers in this room tonight. And we have to fight, although we have to cry. You know, we have to hold up because the revolution is wise and it's live and it's sometime on Zoom. But we are already on the battlefield. V.P. Harris said this as we close. Every era has its end. The baton is now in our hands. So what are we here in ITM number 30? What are we doing with our batons to use as weapons of love and peace and resilience and faith? We have these weapons. So we want you, when we are finished here tonight, to think about how you are going to carry and pass on your baton. We thank you so much. This is AKOMA, Rochester's African American Women's Gospel Choir, and we are a room full of sisters like jewels in a crown, vanilla, cinnamon, and sweet dark chocolate brown. Oh, I know you are imagining yourself in the midst of all of this glory. I'm describing my sisters. They are part of the story, and we are smart and articulate and well read with all kinds of Black history stored in our heads. Oh, imagine, if you will, the essence and the thrill, because you sit feeling proud in the crowd of this AKOMA crowd, because you know, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Come on, one more time. Oh, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. And we who believe in freedom cannot
this microphone on? Yes, great. Let's all please thank Dr. Arlette Miller Smith and the AKOMA Choir. When we offer the luminaries the opportunity to talk at these events, we let them decide how the presentation is going to go. And it is always such a treat to learn so much more about the beauty in our community here. I'd like to introduce our moderator, April Franklin. April is a storyteller with a gift for amplifying Rochester's diverse voices. After more than a decade in URMC's emergency department, she shifted her passion for people into journalism, earning degrees from SUNY Rockport and Syracuse University's Newhouse School. She began on air at WXXI's Weekend Edition before moving full-time into NPR reporting, covering everything from pandemic stories to Rochester's housing beat. Beyond radio, April connects with thousands on TikTok, where her lifestyle content has earned 2.5 million likes. A longtime NABJ member and former VP of the Rochester chapter, she continues to use every platform to elevate community stories. April has recently brought her talents to Baltimore, Maryland, working with the Mayor's Office of Employment Development to educate and develop young storytellers through the city's youth work programs. Let's all give April a warm welcome.
Let's see here. Oh, okay, there we go. Good evening, family. How y'all doing? Okay, Dr. Miller Smith is a tough act to follow. I feel like we've been to a college class and Sunday school at the same time, okay? Beautiful. Well, we are here tonight to honor our luminaries who are literally making history right now. So take a breath, take this time because we are in this moment. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to get right to it. Really, I want to welcome Reverend Jackson to the stage and Dr. Miller Smith. Don't have time to read their bios, but you can see the bios in the back of your chat books. So I just wanted to welcome Reverend Julius D. Jackson and Dr. Miller Smith. Oh, thanks. You guys good?
Good evening.
Awesome. I'm so excited to really get into this tonight. I know you need a minute to catch your breath.
I do, and I will shortly hopefully have another chair. Some of you know I have very extreme back issues and so forth, so if I sit in this one, you and Art Smith and Tark Smith will be carrying me out of here. All right.
Well, thank our volunteers for bringing up that extra chair. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, now all I have to do is get up out of this one.
Thank you.
Okay, help me. Okay.
No, I'm okay. Yeah, thank you guys.
Okay. So sorry, y'all.
No apologies at all. Those are awesome chairs. All right, let's get right to it. So this is a question that I ask all of our luminaries. Right now we are commemorating the final two luminaries of this third series that we're doing, the third volume. But I always ask because you guys, when I read your chat books and just really took a look at the work that you've done in this community, you know, even though the work you're doing is so different, there's things that kind of cross paths with the both of you guys. And what I gather is that both of your work is not from gaining notoriety, but really just from mission and purpose. So when you were asked to be a part of this project and to be highlighted for the work that you've done, your lives here in this community, what was your first thoughts? You can start.
I was pretty much blown away. Just some of the other folks that have been up here before, the Joe Beers, the Summer Brooks, all of the other pretty high-profile folks here in the Rochester community. So I was blown away and honored. So I'm happy to be here to stand in those shoes and follow on that path.
We often see you supporting the other luminaries. So
he supports pretty much everything in this community. He is, in fact, my hero. Just in and of himself, you are certainly still rising, my brother.
I appreciate that.
So what were your thoughts when you asked to be a part of this?
Of course, it is always good to be recognized in terms of creating some voice, and that the voice, in fact, will be positive. For me, it's all about teaching and learning from my students. I constantly learned, and it's probably one of the things that I miss the most in terms of being retired, but why I had to create a class tonight.
Beautiful. Well, Reverend Jackson, I have to ask you this because it was the first thing you did when you see me. When did you become a social media selfie archivist?
Amen.
Everybody in this room has a picture
everywhere.
How much space do you have on your phone, sir?
Not enough. There's different phases of this whole social media thing, but the picture taking started back when I was in Florida. I'd go out to social events with friends and take pictures on my little disposable camera. And, you'd have to take that in and get it developed. But they would do the 1 hour.
The kids don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, they don't know anything about that. We're talking about in the dark ages, 30 years ago. But yeah, I would go to these social events, and we'd start out with happy hour, and then you have your late night stuff. But in between those, I would stop at the 1 hour place and do double photographs. Those are those little paper things that. Yeah. But no, I do double photographs, some to keep and then some to give away. And it went over very well with my friends, having their copy of the picture. Fast forward to Facebook time, do the same thing. You're tagging your friends and everything. But one of my friends stood in my kitchen at one of the social events, and he said to me, I really like what you do. It's very inspiring. You take pictures of everything. I had a friend who passed away, and they didn't even have a picture for his funeral program. That friend who said that to me, he passed away, and one of my pictures ended up being on his funeral program. So that's one phase of things. But the next phase was just trying to clean up my Facebook friends. When you approach that 5,000 mark, it's like, okay, certain people that you may not talk to or may not be as close friends as they could be or should be or what have you. In my mind, it's like, okay, if you can't wish them happy birthday, maybe they're not your friend. See you later. So that's how I started going down the list with Facebook. I don't know if all that answered the major
it
points.
Definitely did. We might have to talk later because I feel like some of them hairstyles, you don't caught me off guard a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah, but that's it.
No, thank you for that. So your chapbook talks about prophecy and legacy. As someone who literally shares the same name and occupation as their father, how do you set your service in the community apart from the work your father has done before you?
That's back to standing in the shoes of folks that you look up to. I admired my dad. He was huge in the community. And I said there was, and I'm going to put it bluntly, no way in hell that I would ever be
Pastor.
a pastor. And I said that all my life. But, sometimes
Hell
you
is
run
permitted,
so far.
I think.
What's that?
Not for us.
Yeah, But sometimes, you run so far from something, you run right into it. I'm here, by the grace of God. But how I'm different than my dad, I'm just kind of casting the net a little wider. His world was a little different than mine.
You taking selfies with people?
No. Yeah, but no, I think my world is a little more colorful than what my dad's was. Old school Southern Baptist preacher, born in 1921 versus me, turning 60 in November.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. So again, my social circle is all colors, shapes, sizes, persuasions, all of that. So that's how my world is a little different.
Yeah, I ran into somebody earlier today, and she mentioned that about how just looking at everybody in the room, it really reflects, the diversity that you guys kind of encounter. Yes. And speaking of diversity, Dr. Miller Smith, as the founding dean of the Office of Multicultural Affairs and Diversity Programs at St. John Fisher, what are your thoughts on the recent attacks on DEI on college campuses nationwide?
Such a large question. I mean, how many years do you have here? But I want to go back, first of all, and then we'll come back to that. But something that you touched on, Julius, really made me talk about legacies, icons in the community and so forth, the question you first asked us. When you talked about the pictures and, the man who didn't have one, it makes me think about two things, or they're actually continuums of each other. I love these two African terms, sasa and zamani. So it made me think about sasa and zamani in terms of, our sasa time is that time from life to death. And the people who have been luminaries in this particular project, they, in fact, to me, have been selected, and there are so many, many more behind them, that their work on behalf of this community in particular moves them into Zamani time. And Zamani means what we leave here on this earth during our Sasa time is, in fact, like the baton picked up, and it lives in none time because it continues to water and brighten and grow our community. So that's part of, I think, the whole idea of highlighting the work of people, and that work comes from every single person that we meet right along the way. So in transitioning to take those two questions in terms of diversity and its impact and so forth, that was one of the reasons that I crafted the piece that we heard tonight, because it was intended for us to really pay attention using artistic realms, whether it was, and you heard the beat, to take you back to Africa. You heard Motherless Child. We intentionally started there and moved to the blues of the gospel, towards the end, and to make sure that everything that was done on behalf of all of us, but particularly those of us of color, that in fact, we are seen, we are heard, we are, in fact, there are times when we really get beat down, but there are times when we also will, in fact, continue to rise up, and then we have to rest. And so, Selah, we pause, we reflect, We give, and then we act. And the same thing happens in terms of when we talk about diversity. When I created the office at St. John Fisher College, one of the little mantras that I absolutely love, and I think it goes something like diversity, different individuals valuing each other, regardless of sex, intellect, talent, or years. Those are only some of the facets of diversity. But a lot of what we have done in that field was, in fact, to show people that, in fact, we all belong. We have to find and clear that space and that place, say, on, as you asked me about college campuses. So it's about mentoring, right? I created a mentoring program called Connect for students who were off campus, who one day a student wandered into my office and turned out that he was a commuter and he had nowhere to go. Kind of in between classes because, as administrators of the campus and so forth, we were building, but really had not, thought in bigger detail about those students who were not, say, on the campus. Thank goodness, everything, as we know, at all of our surrounding campuses, you don't even recognize them. There's so much that is going on because of those offices. But diversity in terms of the softening, to put it, I don't even know how we're really softening. But the fact is that it is still urgent. It is still necessary. We need the scholarships. We need all of the support of students in classrooms. We need to make sure that they are fed beyond the cafeteria. There is so much. Everything that's happening to us is, in fact, happening on the campuses. They have many of those same needs.
Just really quickly, what can colleges locally here in Rochester do? Because, as you know, a lot of the things that were pulled back are federal level.
Federal programs.
So what can they do to ensure that students who are different, who are minorities, are protected and do have the support that they need on campuses?
Every student needs support. And students who are first generation, who come from various ethnic backgrounds and so forth, in particular, yes, they need the more support from us as a community. Even though when they are on the campus, it is more of a sort of an insulated community. We tend to forget. In Rochester, for example, we have so many scholarship programs for our students, and as we should. Literally now almost, from kindergarten all the way through, talk about K to 16, or K to 12. But what we tend to do is to forget. We send them off with all kinds of fanfare, We have all kinds of parties and this, that, and the other. But when they arrive, and especially moving into, say, that second year that is on campus, that's when need really comes. And so it is these cutbacks, not just in the program. That means people like us in this room who are also, giving. What I want to say to you is, do not stop at the party. It's a 4, 5, sometimes 6-year journey, depending on the program. Continue to help them to thrive and continue to make sure that our college presidents and provosts, I think that our provost, Dr. Kevin Riley is here tonight. He certainly has supported this effort, but they need that support in order to continue that tradition of, yeah, we're going to have to see you walk across the stage and then give back.
So you got that, everybody? Keep the momentum. Thank you. One question for the both of you. You both chose making an impact. You both could be making an impact anywhere in the world, but why Rochester?
To quote Frederick Douglass, there's no soil better than Rochester.
Come on.
Yeah, had to put a plug in for Frederick Douglass. But yeah, the rest of the world is like 6 degrees of separation. In Rochester, it's about 2. I would say anybody in here that doesn't know me knows Arlette, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And anybody else in here, you know.
Yes.
Anybody that doesn't know Thomas Warfield?
Oh.
Anybody in here?
In the world.
Exactly. You can catch Arlette or myself, and we'll introduce you to Thomas before the night's over. But anyway, and that goes for anybody else in the room, John Williams, and, you know, I'll stop naming names or I'm going to get in trouble. But anyway, Rochester.
Yeah, well, I'm a transplant. But of course, there are so many transplants. You know, this is another great migration, and especially, of course, from the Florida area. But I'm a Mississippi girl, and I tell you what, I mean, grew up, as I said, in the Searing 60s. I am so grateful for my village and my community there who have always, in fact, supported me. Rochester, the history is so, look with where we are. You know, here at the historic George Eastman House in and of itself, and to look at all the luminaries that, you know, are around us. But I call myself the whither thou goest woman, because Art Smith, who's in the house tonight, hello to Art Smith, was a transplant in terms of when we started out. Wow, I can't even believe it. We're going into number 55, and haven't killed each other yet. So that's how I've gotten here twice, in fact, twice. And this is, you know, I always said that, when the body gives out and the salsa time ends, that I will definitely be going all the way back to Beulah, because Beulah is where everyone is that I still want to see. But you know what? It's going to be somewhere here in Rochester, okay?
Thank you so much. So we do have a limited time, but I want to get our essayists and our photographers up on stage.
Fabulous.
So we'll welcome Team Jackson, which is essayist Rob Bell, and photographer Narada Riley, and Team Miller Smith. Which is essayist Tokeya, and photographer Cocoa Rae.
While the teams are coming up, I got to give a shout out for Mississippi too.
Yes.
With all the commonalities Arlette and I have together.
We both are Mississippi.
Yeah, we're both from Mississippi
and close.
Rochester.
I'm Vicksburg, and you are?
Centerville, Gloucester, Macomb, all of that stuff.
Yes, Macomb. That may be the only one, the name that you recognize. Okay?
Awesome. So the
other towns aren't much bigger than this room. So, yeah.
All right. Well, welcome, essayists and photographers. We got everybody kind of split up here. So we'll just get right into it. Talking to both the essayists, Tokeya and Rob. Rob specifically. What were you able to gather for the essay after attending church service at Unity Church of Pittsford?
Yeah, I think that's when the whole story kind of came together. At that point, I talked to JD about 2 or 3 times, and then I got to see him at the radio show, which was fun. But I told him that I can't finish the story until I see you preach.
I haven't even seen him preach. Who's seen him preach? I haven't seen him yet. So that was.
And I myself, unfortunately, hadn't been to church in a while myself. So, so I was probably due. But I think, it's a delicate balance when you write something about somebody. You never want to inject yourself. But at the same time, you want to connect, so you need to feel connected to the material. And I think that was the moment that I connected. I went to be a witness and to observe, but I ended up really getting a lot out of his sermon myself. So I think that guided my writing at that point.
I think we need to go to Pittsford, huh? Tokeya, having a relationship with Dr. Miller Smith prior to this project, was there any topic that you were hesitant to ask about?
No. No. Because I admire her life. She's also my daughter. We make this joke. She's my mother, my daughter. She's the supreme ruler of all things. And I'm only a little bit scared of her, right? And I have this supreme respect for her. So because of our relationship, our mutual respect, our care for each other, but I'm also a fan, right? And I could not enter into this space. My writing is going to be on point, so that was never the issue. But I could not tell her story. And so there was nothing. I probably asked too much stuff. I have hours of recordings. But because of our trusted relationship, we've been partners in writing. We're family. We are friends. We are colleagues. And I'm her legacy as well. I'm not her biological child, but I'm a professor. I'm a creator. And I know that if I have the opportunity to tell her story publicly, then I owe her the honor of jumping right in. And I'm nosy. So I'm like, girl, tell me more.
Really quickly, was there anything, I'll ask this in this moment event, but I'm always very curious because it's such a, you only have so many words to fit in somebody's whole life and they're still living. So was there anything that, you're comfortable in sharing that didn't make it into the chat books?
Oh my God.
So my therapist says, no. Yes, there is. When I started writing this, I told Jean and Amanda, I will only defer to her. I don't care what editor you bring in. I don't care. Both of us are writing professors. She's a Black woman. She is 75 at the time. She's going to tell her story, and that is who I will report to. So when that happened, we had a theme. We were going for this quilting theme. And then I was asking her all of these questions about her family life, and there were some very personal stories that I won't get into. And I had written my first draft, which I thought was like amazing, but it had all these family stories in there. And they were very private, but she told me, like, I didn't make this up. And she read it and she was like, your writing is true. That's my daughter laughing because they know I was in therapy. I'm like, you know what? But when I tell you I rewrote it overnight and I took some of the other elements because I respect her and I could not do to her what I would not allow somebody else to do, tell parts of her story. So I gave it back to her and said, you're going to have to write this yourself because we need to know. You don't just get to witness. You teach us and you create a legacy. And so in this moment is right now, but there's another moment that she'll tell the rest of her story.
And she has told me, tell them what you told me about these hours and hours of notes. And
this not going to be a subpoena, is it?
She's talking about the, couple Mississippi stories.
Yes.
That are extraordinarily meaningful and competitive. But at the end, you gave me advice in terms of where I should, in fact, you would like to see me go, not where I should
see
go.
You go. I'm not doing it. I told her, I was like, girl, you wore me out in the best possible way. But there's a lot of water happening. There's a lot of quilting.
Yes.
And we just have to sit at the feet of our elder women and elder men and really just respect. Like, we're in communication all the time. And it's been my honor to be able to share your story. But she's going to tell the next part of it.
Sure.
So, did we just get an exclusive that there may be a book coming? Is that what?
There will be. There will be.
Same question.
So JD is a fascinating person. He comes from a very famous family in the city. I had the privilege of covering him twice when I was at the Democrat and Chronicle. So the first story was on the church bombing that happened to his dad's church. Was that Thanksgiving night, 1971? So I already knew about that story. And then the Facebook thing, I'm just enamored by. Like, it catches me off guard all the time. On my birthday, I'm like, oh yeah, there's that awkward picture I took with JD. But I really wanted to avoid a lot of what I knew and get to know him right now. Because I think that was what we talked about, is not writing a biography, which I could have done. He's worth a biography. But I think that, especially the moment that we're in this country right now, with that as the backdrop and him being who he is, I was really able to just be laser focused on the moments that we spent together, and I think what that meant right now for who we are as people. So it wasn't tough. It was tough to not ask those questions about some of his family history and some of the things that he does around the city. But I knew we didn't have too much time at a deadline. So.
And to interject, what I told Rob specifically, as a speaker, preacher, whatever, you go to places and people want your bio. So I've heard my bio, rewritten my bio, resume, all of that. For me, that's a noun. What he did made me a verb. So I resonate with what he wrote. So I saw a side of me that I don't see, even in the mirror. So, yeah, so thank you, Rob, for your talent.
And it's the best compliment I can get. Thank you.
So, you guys were excellent at illustrating them through words, but we actually have these amazing photographers. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I would love just kind of get pick your brain on how you approach this project and what came behind some of the decisions you made for the final edits. Coco? Ladies first.
Well, it was, okay, so this is my third iteration to this chapbook series. So, of course, my previous luminaries, I got to know, whether that was through appreciation for Adrian and as well as familiarity for Dr. Clark through family and community. This was a little different for me because this was my first time getting a chance to meet Dr. Arlette. And I just took everything in as is. I'm a very fluid person. I let things come as it is. And the moment of time, whether it's moments of happiness, whether it's moments of sadness, whether it's discomfort, anything, and I always want to capture the real person in that moment in time. And with Dr. Arlette, which I had such a great time with her. Like, I told her, I felt like I was at my grandmother's house, and excuse me if I get a little emotional.
And she did. On our first shoot, it was absolutely so beautifully stunning.
And of course, her singing, like, I'm sorry. It was a match. It was meant. It was kismet. It was really meant. She helped me through a lot of my healing process of grief. We went with any idea she wanted to do, and I did my best to capture her in her best light.
Yes, she is. Fantastic photographer. Amazing. And she really, I am actually very photo shy. I mean, I really am. And, I really am. And I have got to tell you that this young woman made me feel so comfortable. I mean, just so appreciated and lovely until I just right then and there fell in love with her. I fed her.
I couldn't leave your house without getting fed. You definitely took care of me.
If you want, if every photographer that ITM has used. I know several of them, and they are simply superb. But I have to tell you that my experience with cocoa, sweet cocoa chocolate, we talked about the AKOMA piece that I did, because we do, sweet chocolate brown. And she just laughed, about that. Just extraordinary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Narada, same question to you. And you actually used the drone for Reverend Jackson's photos.
I did. That's a hard act to follow behind Coco.
Is your mic on?
Hello? Is it on? Can you hear me? I don't talk into mics often. Okay, so yes, I use a drone for mine. I always try to stay in the moment, try to be different. Rob is basically, he's my brother. So knowing I was doing this project with him, I wanted to make sure I did above and beyond. Never met Reverend before, so had to stay in the moment. And we spent a lot of time with each other that day. Pretty much explained his whole life, and that was great. But inside the church, it was a little scary flying the drone in there. I didn't want to damage anything, but we got it completed, and I wanted to show a good side of people using drones, because people always think bad about them. But I thought it was a unique angle to be able to catch JD from that way, and also the one from the lower angle to look like you're a churchgoer and you're viewing him from there. So that was another strong point. So I think I wanted to put those in there.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Everybody did a phenomenal job. Yes, everybody did. Definitely want to give it up again for our luminaries for the night, Reverend Jackson and Dr. Miller Smith, please. I also wanted to take some time, I know we didn't have time earlier, but just to acknowledge some of our previous luminaries. I see Mitch Thompson in the crowd. And if you are a previous luminary, please stand up. But there we go. Yes. So on behalf of In This Moment, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you.
And thank you.